Well, good morning, everybody. It's Robin Piper, and I'm with the Globus family of brands. I'm sorry that we kept you waiting. I had a few technical difficulties, which is pretty much, par for the course. I'm the first one of the first day of 21 days of vacay. So thank you so much for joining me. And today we're going to take kind of a different approach. Many of you have probably attended my in-person webinars, or seminars rather. And today we're going to do it a little bit differently. So today I'm doing several different presentations throughout the day, about 15-20 minutes for each of them. So I'm going to highlight 5 great destinations that you should consider exploring with us. And of course, for those of you who are new to the Globus family of brands, we of course have a wide range. We cover 6 continents and over 60 countries, with a variety of travel styles, and we'll talk about those throughout the day today. And so I just want you to kind of sit back, relax, take some notes, decide what should be on your list for 2021 and 2022. And I'm really excited to say that we have both 2021 and 2022 available for you to book right now. So that's fantastic. So first up is going to be New Zealand, and you can find everything in New Zealand, from untamed wilderness to a rich culture and inspiration from the towering mountains and the mist-cloaked fjords. And serenity is golden at the beaches, and they're curled through these beautiful, quiet bays, and it really has so much to offer. New friends in small towns and big doses of laid-back charm. New Zealand really is something that is on my bucket list. We travel there throughout the year. January and February are probably the most popular for North Americans because we're trying to get away from our beautiful weather here. But then don't forget, March, there'll be fewer crowds and still some very reasonably warm days. So this is kind of their autumn or their shoulder season, but it's absolutely gorgeous during that time frame. And then we do offer a fair amount of tours that depart September through November, which is spring for New Zealand, which is perfect if you like to hike or you want to see the flowers in bloom. The nights are cool, but the days are warm. Oh, it just sounds so beautiful. And look at these. We've got just kind of a wide range. Down here on the right-hand side, that is Cathedral Point. We've got the Bridal Veil and so much more to showcase for you. And then if you're wondering, well, what would I do in New Zealand, right? I'm familiar with Australia, but what about New Zealand? Oh my goodness, New Zealand is really quite amazing. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, upper left-hand corner, you have, this is part of the Maoris culture, and they are the indigenous people to this region, and they have a rich history. They came from a unique Hawaiian island and ended up here. So really some pretty amazing history with that. Of course, if you like wine, New Zealand is known for great food, great wine, and even great craft beers. And then don't forget, there are a lot of great TV shows and movies that are set and filmed in New Zealand. So this one in the upper right-hand corner might look familiar to you as part of The Hobbit. And then don't forget about the big cities. We've got Auckland, which has a diverse population, a really popular night scene, and then, of course, great food throughout the city. So I wanted to highlight 2 of our top sellers. One is with Globus, which is our 14-day Auckland to Queenstown with Globus. And this one includes all kinds of great sightseeing. So you'll have guided sightseeing in Auckland. You'll actually cruise to the Bay of Islands. You'll do a traditional hangi dinner. You'll visit the Rainbow Springs National Park. You'll do some sightseeing in Wellington by cable car, which sounds phenomenal. And then you go to all the historic landmarks and the must-see sites of Christchurch. You'll do an excursion to Milford Sound, and of course also have some guided sightseeing in Queenstown. Now with Globus, you'll have your your tour director with you, you'll have your professional driver, and we'll take care of all the details for you, which is fantastic because there's a lot of ground to cover. And you'll notice that part of this, you're actually flying from place to place. You've got a little bit of a train ride we talked about, and then a couple of scenic cruises in both the Bay of Islands and to Milford Sound. Another way to see this area is called Naturally New Zealand, and this is with our Monograms product. Now, Monograms is going to be more independent style. So in the 3 major cities of Auckland, Christchurch, and Queenstown, you will have a local host. That person will be there to assist you with, sightseeing in that area. They'll administer sightseeing. But then they'll also help set you up for what you might want to do when you're in the other cities. So along with, all the guided sightseeing, you'll also have a visit to the set of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies that we talked about. You'll get to do a boat ride through the Guatemala Glowworm caves. And there are only a couple places in the world that have these glowworm caves, and they are completely illuminated. So if you imagine if your kids or grandkids ever had those glow stick bracelets, right? It's like somebody put those all over this underwater cave. It's really quite amazing. And you'll do some other excursions to side islands as well, including Milford Sound, as we talked about before. And but in between this, you'll have more downtime, more time to explore on your own. And we have some great technology to help you make the most of your time when you are not part of a daily tour. And what I love about both of these, it's easy to add on Fiji or Sydney if you want to make a longer stay of it. So these are both just top notch. Next up, I wanted to talk about South Africa. And really, these photographs kind of tell you the story of just this beautiful, beautiful, vast country, from Victoria Falls to Cape Town, which is at the bottom here, to all the animal encounters and the game drives that we will do for you. So we take care of all the details while maintaining our commitment to the region to do as the locals do and to care for the places that we take you by partnering with the Lion Recovery Fund and the Wildlife Conservation Network to protect the people and the animals of this region. So we are very mindful of how we visit South Africa and really all of our destinations, but we know that there's so much to share and so much to see, but we want to make sure that we leave behind only footprints, right? We don't want to leave behind some of the trappings that come with tourism. So for a lot of people, South Africa or Africa in general seems really far out of reach, but that's really not the case. We have affordable options from our Globus to our Cosmos, which is our more budget-friendly product, to even with our Monograms product, where with Monograms, you can actually select where you stay from our portfolio, and you can do luxury tented camps, you can do lodges, you can do so many things. So of course, we're always looking for the big five, and of course, the penguins aren't the big part of the big five, but you will see penguins in this region as well, which I always think is so interesting. And no matter what brand you're traveling with us on, we have custom built safari vehicles that will allow you to take in the rugged terrain, but still be very comfortable and have the best possible views. So in South Africa, you would be in an open air 4-wheel drive safari vehicle with a maximum of 9 guests. And you'll have your game spotters and you'll have your tour director and just lots of support along the way to make sure that you make the most of. We'll do morning game drives, we'll do afternoon game drives, even some sunset game drives. So a couple of choices, like I talked about before, we have Splendors of South Africa and Victoria Falls, which is a 12-day excursion from Cape Town to Johannesburg, and that's with Globus. And of course, you're covering a ton of ground, so there are inter-vacation flights that would be included. And we talked about some of the things that you'll do here with multiple game drives, multiple times of the day, because different animals feed at different times of the day, and they're relaxing different times of the day. You'll get guided sightseeing in Johannesburg to some of the key sites and places. Same with Cape Town. And we'll even do a cable car ride up to Table Mountain for some magnificent views. A guided walk through Victoria Falls, and then do a scenic cruise on the Zambezi River, which is not to be missed. This is a trip that really, if it's not on your bucket list and you consider yourself a world traveler, you need to re-examine that bucket list. Now, for those who don't necessarily want to have, as much, I guess, plotted out for them, in South Africa, we do offer a monograms product. This is our South African Sojourn. And so you'll still have guided sightseeing, but you'll have a little bit more free time to go out and explore on your own. On this particular itinerary, you'll do Kruger National Park, of course, with your professional ranger and game tracker. You'll have local hosts in both Cape Town and Johannesburg that will assist you with half-day sightseeing that's included and other excursions. You'll have plenty of free time in Cape Town. You'll do multiple game drives on this as well, and you'll actually get to visit Robben Island and the Cape Winelands. So a wide range of differences with these two things, with these two itineraries, totally different areas for the most part, but you still get to see some great stuff. Next up is India, and interest in India has been growing over the last several years, and so have the ways to experience this region with the Globus family. At the present time, we offer first-class vacations with Globus, more budget-friendly options with Cosmos, an independent-style travel with monograms, and even an intimate river cruise setting with Avalon Waterways. Isn't that just a gorgeous picture of the Taj Mahal? I just love this photograph. And really, one of the big things is, India is rich in traditions and in history, and our tours to India, we want to include historic sites from the Taj Mahal in Agra to the palaces and forts of Jaipur. And along the way, your adventure will range from visiting a marble workshop to spending time at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and perhaps even doing a train trip to the national park to see the elusive Bengal tigers. But one of the things that I love about India are the people, and they're so friendly, and they have so much to share, and they're so proud of their country and what they've been through and who they are today, that I just love this man's photograph. His eyes just, are so welcoming. So just a beautiful country full of great things to visit. So on our Icons of India, this one is a Globus tour, and it's 10 days round trip from Delhi. And so you'll begin and end in Delhi. You'll do an orientation drive of the city. You'll do sunrise at the Taj Mahal. You'll do morning and afternoon game drives at the national park so that you can get up close and personal, not that personal, but so that you can see those Bengal tigers and others. One of the local favorites is that you'll have dinner with a local noble family, and you'll have a sari and turban tying experience, which is pretty amazing. We do something similar in Japan where we do a kimono fitting for the ladies, and it's just something that you'll never forget. So I would imagine this would be very similar. And then if you wanted to, you could combine these two, this Icons of India with the Spirit of Ganges, which is a 7-day round trip Calcutta on Avalon. Now this is on the Ganges Voyager, which holds just 56 passengers. It's a 7-day experience, and we have a wide range of included excursions and sightseeing. The onboard inclusions include your meals, your drinks, that sort of thing. And like I said before, it is super easy to extend it with a land package from any one of our various brands. Now, the national parks. I know a lot of us have national parks on our bucket list, and we're so fortunate to have these amazing treasures right here at home. If you love fresh air and amazing views and learning more about our amazing country, don't delay your visit to the national parks. The Globus family offers a wide range of options from coast to coast, from Zion National Park to Acadia National Park, and everywhere in between. You can leave the driving to us and sit back and relax and enjoy what our local guides have to share with you about, these parks and the nearby towns, and kind of a behind the scenes peek at our national parks. And we're dedicated again to making a difference in the region. So for every national park traveler, we make a donation to the Wildland Firefighters Foundation to help honor and support the brave men and women that protect our national treasures. So we've had that partnership for a couple of years now, and I personally am very proud of that. I have a lot of friends that are firefighters. So again, I wanted to share a couple of different options, 2 totally different itineraries, both with Globus. We've got Enchanting Canyonlands, which is 11 days, round trip Las Vegas, and yes, you have time to hit the slot machines. And this one is going to take you through the Mojave Desert and give you a scenic sightseeing drive on Route 66. You've also got the Grand Canyon National Park. You'll do a scenic cruise on Lake Powell. One of my favorite things that we do is the 4-wheel drive sightseeing through Monument Valley with your Navajo guide. You'll visit Dead Horse Point State Park. You'll have guided sightseeing in Bryce Canyon and in Zion National Park, and so much more. So really, these are some of the, you'll do Arches National Park, which I didn't even get a chance to talk about. So lots of different little treasures in this one. Then if you've already done the Grand Canyon in that region, you might take a look at America's National Parks. And I think both of these are great itineraries to take families on because you've got somebody taking you from place to place. You don't have to worry about it. So for America's National Parks, that's 10 days, Rapid City to Salt Lake City, and that is also Globus. You start off in Rapid City with an orientation tour. You'll have a guided visit through Crazy Horse Memorial and Museum. You'll get to go do some guided sightseeing and a little step back in history with Little Bighorn Battlefield. You'll visit Yellowstone National Park. And in some of these cases, you're staying in the park area. So that's pretty cool too. You've got a whole free day to explore Jackson, Wyoming, which, is a great place in its own right. Guided sightseeing in Salt Lake City, and your farewell dinner is right there in Temple Square, which is a breathtaking view if you haven't been there before. So again, we have probably 15 different itineraries that cover our national parks from coast to coast. I would highly recommend that you check those out. And last but not least, my 5th spot is the Galapagos Islands. Oh, these blue-footed boobies are just so cute. I just love them. And one of the ways that we take you to the Galapagos, which are 13 different islands and then hundreds of smaller islands that don't really have any inhabitants, and but we do all of this on the Treasure of the Galapagos, and this is a luxury catamaran that we charter just for our guests, and it really gets you up close and personal to everything that the Galapagos has to offer, because we can get into these smaller islands. So there's 9 suites on the Treasure of the Galapagos, and it truly is an intimate experience. It's a maximum of 16 guests. We have extra large staterooms with balconies. All the staterooms are the same, and it's elegant but relaxed, and really you'll feel right at home. I mean, just think about watching dolphins off the side of the vessel, and you're sitting in the hot tub. How amazing would that be? Or sitting at dinner. I mean, it's just crazy. So due to this, like I said, due to the size of the vessel, you have a front row spot from your balcony or the dining area or the top deck, whatever the case may be, to see amazing wildlife, from penguins and flamingos sharing the same beach, which only happens here, the ancient tortoises, iguanas that swim, unique birds, hundreds of different species of birds, and of course the blue-footed boobies, and also the dolphins that will be out and about. So on board, we will have your tour director and a naturalist that will give you special insights to everything that you're seeing, and really, quite frankly, any question that you might have. This is, I mean, if you're looking for a really cool honeymoon, or if you're looking for an anniversary trip, this is the best of the best. So one of the ways that we can do this is with our Ecuador and its Galapagos Islands, which is, oh, I apologize, which is, I lost my train of thought there with my phone call, which is an 8-day round trip Kyoto on Avalon. And like I said, we chartered that vessel, the Treasure of the Galapagos. But this is a small group discovery, so no more than 16 people. You'll have guided sightseeing at the beginning of the tour, all your included excursions daily, onboard meals. You'll visit Santa Cruz Island and the Charles Darwin Research Center, Santiago Island, Sullivan Bay. You'll have time to snorkel and swim. So many different places, but you will have covered this region, you know, without fail. And there's also other ways that you can also add on the Ecuadorian Amazon with this particular itinerary. So a lot of different choices on how you might want to extend this amazing experience. So I know our time is short today, but as I promised, it would be, right? I'm just doing short little hits. I've got my next one, I think, at 11 a.m. And it's all about Europe and falling in love with Europe again. But I do want to remind you that as part of the 21 Days of Vacays, we are offering an additional $100 off our worldwide destinations with the Globus family of brands. It's 6 nights or longer, and you have to book now, book by January 19th. Plus, we have special offers on all of our different brands. So we just came out with an air special for some of our Globus itineraries. We also have an air special for Europe on Avalon, which isn't what I talked about today, but we have lots of different things. And we have our early booking discount, which is 10% off of Europe and 5% off these exotic vacations that we just talked about today. And don't forget that Cruise Holidays is putting this whole thing on, and they're doing virtual appointments. So you can call or email them today. And their phone number is right there at 816-505-1500. And I always want to remind you that everything that you see here, they can help you with. Things that you don't even see here, they can help you with. But the importance of having and using a professional travel advisor are just innumerable. I could go on for 2 hours about that. So make sure you're contacting your counselor. If you don't have a counselor yet, let's get you one at Cruise Holidays. And I hope you guys can join me at 11 for my next webinar. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.